Material checkup. The first action that the officer should take is to conduct a checkup on the material. The checkup of the materials is important for identifying the condition of the material. Numbering. After the checkup, the officer needs to make a numbering on the material to facilitate the compilation of the material. Cleaning. Cleaning of materials is done to remove dirt and matter found on documents. It is very important to facilitate the restoration process to be implemented. Ink fading test. Ink fading test is performed to determine the bleaching resistance of writing ink. This test is important to determine the appropriate deacidification method. Prevention of ink fading. This method is intended to cover the ink from fading on the written part only by using Texacryl tissue with acetone liquid. The acetone liquid will be applied to the Texacryl tissue to create a protective layer on the faded ink. pH test before deacidification. The pH test is performed before deacidification to detect the acidity rate found in the document by taking pH readings. This pH test is more accurate and suitable if using the electronic pH meter. Deacidification dry. Deacidification dry is a technique that uses a chemical solution spray, such as bookkeeper or barium hydroxide as a deacidification agent. Deacidification wet. Deacidification wet is a technique that uses water immersion of magnesium bicarbonate solution as deacidification agent. This process will be left overnight to ensure that the deacidification process perfectly complete. pH test. After deacidification, the pH test is performed again on documents that have undergone the deacidification process to ensure the documents is totally free from acid. One of the restoration methods is tissue repair. Tissue repair is carried out on non-high ink fading materials and not too fragile paper structures. Firstly, apply the CMC adhesive on the acrylic sheet using a brush. Place the net on the top of the acrylic sheet and followed by L2 tissue. Then, the L2 tissue is moistened by spraying the distilled water on it. Use Spontex to level the L2 tissue. Then, flip the net to put L2 tissue over the acrylic sheet. To ensure the document easy to hand, the document must be damp on both sides by spraying the distilled water on it. Then, place the document on the net. Next is scoring. Scoring is the process of pasting a missing or torn part. The Seikoshi handmade paper will scoring on the missing or torn part using a scoring pen. The Seikoshi handmade paper that have been ripped will be pasted over the missing or torn part. Then, apply the CMC adhesive on the document to ensure that the document is attached with the tissue. After that, flip the document using net and place it on the L2 tissue that has been applied on the acrylic sheet. Then, the another L2 tissue is moistened and flattened with Spontex to create another layer of protection on the upper side of the document. Flip the L2 tissue using net, and then placed it on the document. Use the Spontex to ensure the L2 tissue totally attached on the document. Lastly, the CMC adhesive applied on the document to strengthen the protection and durability. The other type of restoration is traditional repair. This traditional technique is used on handwritten materials such as files, manuscripts, plans, maps, and so on. This technique uses paper fiber to extend the durability of the document. Indian handmade paper is placed on the net and sprayed with distilled water. After that, the CMC adhesive is flattened on the Indian handmade paper using a brush. The CMC adhesive is applied on the whole entire of the handmade paper. Then, flip the Indian handmade paper using net and pasted it on the acrylic sheet. After that, place the document on net and spray it with distilled water. Use the brush to ensure the whole document totally moistened. Repeat the same step on the other sides of the document. Next, apply the CMC adhesive on the entire document. Put aside the document and apply once again the CMC adhesives on the Indian handmade paper to further strengthen the patch. After that, place the documents on the Indian handmade paper. Use the brush to make sure the document pasted totally on the Indian handmade paper. Take the net aside and then put the L2 tissue on it. Moisten the L2 tissue with distilled water using the Spontex. Then, flip the net and place the L2 tissue on the document. Use the brush to ensure the L2 tissue pasted totally on the document. Lastly, leveled the CMC adhesives all over the document to provide durability. Next step is drying. After finish this type of repair, the document should be dried on the drying rack at room temperature. Splitting. The splitting process is done on the documents that has completely dried up. This step is to separate the documents from the acrylic sheet. Next step is compressing. Compressing the document sheet is important to ensure that excess air can be removed. This step can return the document sheet to its original shape, not wrinkle, and produce the best quality of work. Trimming. After the document's completely compressed, the document should be trimmed. Before trimming, the document needs to be measured on the circumference to facilitate the trimming process. Once the measurement is completed, then the trimming process will be done on the document. Trimming is a finishing activity that needs to be done to ensure that the excess raw materials on the document can be moved away. Check and rearrange. Checks and rearrange are done to ensure there are no missing documents and the document can be rearranged in the original order. Minor repairs. Minor repairs is also one of the type of restoration. This type of restoration is carried out on all types of document sheets that have minor damage. This restoration is done by repair the ripped parts with Texacryl tissue through heating method using the taking iron. This method is very simple and does not require many raw materials and equipment compared to tissue repair and traditional repair. Encapsulation. Encapsulation is a conservation process implemented on valuable materials such as documents, posters, and others. The document is covered with mylar plastic on the both side of the document. The fabric is rubbed on top of the mylar-coated material to reduce excess air. After that, the document will be encapsulated using an encapsulation machine. This encapsulation machine uses the ultrasonic sound wave method to merge mylar plastic. This machine will cover in the surrounding part of the mylar plastic. However, there is one part that will not merge to remove excess air. Encapsulation is also best method for restoration because it can protect documents from being damaged by using acid-free materials. Document that finished encapsulated using the machine will be braided to remove the excess sides of each mylar plastic. This step is also important to ensure that the encaptioned documents are neat and easy to refer.